Here we go again with the woke mob wanting everybody and anybody to come into the country, but will these same people house the people that they freely want to allow to come into the country? I'm not going to talk anymore, so let us get into the video.
We are at Bournemouth University asking students questions about immigration and refugee status. So if someone arrives in Britain illegally, are they a refugee?
Yeah, I think, isn't that...
No.
Isn't anyone arriving in England from any country, whether legally or illegally, aren't they then a refugee?
Yes.
I can't say I know way too much on the matter, but I know obviously that there's been quite a few crises, and I think I think everyone should be welcome, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think it should be made illegal to be a refugee.
If someone were to enter Britain illegally, does that make them a refugee?
Oh, well, okay. We don't really know the definition of refugee, so we can't entirely say that they are or they aren't. So,
yeah, because they've been forced out their country due to war, so they have come to us for safety, even if it is illegally.
Here we go again with some of these asinine answers that these students always never seem to fail to come up with. Not every person who comes into the country is seeking refuge. Some people just want to come into the country and they'll come in illegally, and they might not be from a war-torn country. They might just be coming from a poor place. They might be coming for a variety of reasons, and they come through illegally. And regardless of the reason, if they're coming in illegally, they should not be allowed into the country that they're coming into. It's really that simple. The problem with college students is they don't have any responsibilities with anything, so they think anyone could come in as long as it doesn't directly affect them. And the funny thing is, letting these people come in will eventually affect them.
Okay, cool.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, it sounds like you might know what you're talking about in terms of the legal aspect.
Partly, yes. I think so. Mostly, yes. Probably.
Okay, so if someone enters, we are an island after all, we have an advantage there. So if you are arriving illegally, that doesn't necessarily make you a refugee, no?
No.
If someone arrives in Britain illegally, does that make them a refugee?
I would say so.
Entering Britain illegally, refugees, because the country's divided.
Yeah.
Okay, who should house the refugee if that's true, who should house them? Is it the job of the government?
The council.
The council?
Yeah, anyone willing to take them in.
Okay. Would you house an immigrant, for example?
Not right now at uni, obviously, but when once we're qualified, then yeah, go on then. If I've got spare room, no one's going to use it.
Sure, makes sense.
Yeah, if I had the facilities to do so.
Who should pay for refugees in that respect? Just like you and I cost X amount per day to be clothed, housed, fed, etc.
I would say the government, but the government's...
The answers are absolutely insane, and once you're actually someone who is working and contributing to society, you're beginning to understand the stupidity of the answers from these students, and it's really unfortunate that these are the answers that they come up with. The government is going to be, and you know what the government is going to do once they start to bring in all of these people? They're going to increase our taxes, and society is going to be affected. The government is not going to be affected because they're going to use society to facilitate for all these people coming in. But you know, college students don't have any responsibility, so they just talk out of their bum.
No, but it's a fair answer though. The government, there's three answers, I think. Government's one.
I mean, realistically, the other thing here is, obviously, the government is one of the ones that would, but again, they get their money from us anyway, so in a roundabout way, we're paying for it.
Sure.
But then you think about the other kind of big places that money is stored in the UK is one in the monarchy, and two just in large businesses. Realistically, there should be some way for that they should be kind of responsible for it, especially where you think about the monarchy. In theory, it's above Parliament, it's above the government. Realistically, with their wealth and kind of outreach, they should be able to do more about it.
Before we get back into the video, I need all of you to turn on your post notifications so that you get notified when one of my videos come out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video if you enjoyed the video, comment down below. I'll try and reply to as many comments as possible, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. Let's get back into the video.
Would you house an immigrant? If you had the facility, sorry. Obviously, you have to have the facility.
Yeah, no, being a student, I don't have anywhere to... anywhere. I've barely got enough room for myself. But yes, if I had the facilities to, then yes.
Yeah, same. People are people at the end of the day. We're social creatures. Why wouldn't you?
Would you house an immigrant?
If I had the option, I would.
So again, arriving illegally, classifying them as a refugee, who should fund that?
Oh, I mean, I think before we start housing refugees, we should sort out the homeless issue in England, and the government should be doing that. There's so many empty buildings in England that can be used, but the government just don't.
But who should fund it? So taxpayer?
Yeah.
Through taxation?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think
What
so.
do you think, Casey? What do you think, Casey? Because the money's got to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think it should come from the people in the government, because they don't tax themselves and they get a ridiculous amount of money and the taxpayer doesn't. So I think they should maybe tax themselves and then use money from there.
Do you really think that's what's going to happen, that these people will tax themselves? Or do you think what's going to happen is they're going to increase the prices of things and increase the taxes on the people who are actually the ones who are contributing to society? What do you think is really going to happen? But as I said, college students just think of themselves, especially these types of college students. I won't say all, these specific college students with the rainbow flag colored hair. And as I usually say in all my videos, they always have a certain look.
Massive wage to help everyone else because they don't need it.
No, it's fair enough. Would you house an immigrant?
Absolutely. If I had space, I would.
The funny thing about all of these people's answers is under the condition of if I have space. That's just really a cop-out for all of them, because whether they have space is determined by them, which is why they're answering the way that they're answering. I'm sure all of them have space on their floor. I'm sure some of them have couches that they can allow illegal immigrants to come in on. But what they mean by is if they had space is they mean an extra room where they have an extra bed, which most people do not have. So it's just really a cop-out for them to say, nah, I don't really have the space, so I'm not going to do it.
And what about illegal immigrants? Who should pay for those? They arrive here illegally. Who should pay for them?
Must be government as well, because I wouldn't know where else to put it.
Because it's an incredibly expensive operation.
The government has to expect, if they have a strong economy, they have to expect that people will try and get into that country. So,
legally.
I work in a bar, right? I'm a student.
Legally.
I'm just trying to live my life, right? So I don't think that financial burden should be on me, because I am giving money to the government for them to deal with things like that.
Through taxation, we should house an immigrant.
The government.
Typically that would be done through taxation rather than their own money.
Yes.
Okay. Would you house a refugee?
Again, depends on my circumstances.
Once they're here, they need to be fed, clothed, watered, housed. Just like we cost money, who should pay for them?
I don't really know. I guess, people who want to help out.
Charities?
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe the government have a bit of money they can sort of give to these charities to help them out, or just families that want to take them in and help them out themselves.
So the most common answer would be charity, government, but where does the majority of the money come from to pay for anything ever? Taxation, right?
Yeah.
Amongst a populace. So would you be happy with housing people who arrived illegally under the possible definition that they may be refugees? Would you be okay with taxpayer money funding that?
Depends how much and how it comes out and stuff, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really know much to say anything, if that makes sense.
Sure, but we're making students think.
Yeah.
So for example, you and I, we have unless you're bodybuilding, you have 3 square meals a day, right? You have hot water, electric, clothes. So one question I think is to ask, how much does it cost to be alive as an 18-year-old or 18 to death? How much does it cost per day? Is it £20 a day? Is it £50 a day? Is it £100 a day? Depends on, but basic bare minimum, it's getting students thinking about that. What are your thoughts on that, about taxation and who should pay for, if they were to be classified as refugees coming in illegally, who should pay? Should it be through taxation?
It's hard because obviously not everyone's wanting to help out those refugees, but then obviously most people pay tax, so not everyone's going to be happy with like giving a bit of their money to the refugees if they don't want to help.
Would you house an immigrant
I don't know. I wouldn't.
if you had the facility, of course?
If I had the facilities, probably for a bit until they find a job and stuff. But that's only if I have the facilities. But right now I don't, so I can't really say because like we're a student and stuff. But if I was older, had a family, had a spare room and stuff like that, maybe.
Yeah, I think I would, like, just until they get back on their feet, just to help them.
All of these people saying they would is absolutely comical. These people are living such a comfortable life in uni, talking about if they had a spare room. And as I've said, most people don't have spare rooms to be given to strangers. And it's absolutely crazy that these people are saying they would allow illegal immigrants to come in who they do not know who they are. And they're saying they would allow them to come into their homes.
Do you know who Gary Lineker is?
Sounds familiar. Is that the guy from
Ex-England football player.
the Walker's Packet?
Yeah, and Chris as well. You know his political stance. He drones on and on and on about everything that we should be doing and how evil and immoral we are. And do you know his net worth?
No, I don't know.
Probably millions.
Something like that. And do you know how many illegal immigrants he houses?
No, I don't. How many?
0.
0. Oh.
But that's all he talks about.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Go figure.
You've been amazing, guys. Thank you so much.
But yeah, that was another video, another reaction, a very interesting video as well. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow me on Twitter at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.